Operation Strong Cliff was a military operation launched by Israel on July 8, 2014 in the Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip. Following the IDF Operation Brother's Keeper, Hamas started rocket attacks, targeting Israeli cities and infrastructure, resulting in 7 weeks of Israeli operations. The Israeli strikes, the Palestinian rocket attacks and the ground fighting resulted in the death of thousands of people, the vast majority of them Gazans. The stated aim of the Israeli operation was to stop rocket fire from Gaza into Israel, which increased after an Israeli crackdown on Hamas in the West Bank was launched following the June 12 kidnapping and murder of 3 Israeli teenagers by 2 Hamas members. Conversely, Hamas's goal was to bring international pressure to bear to lift Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip, end Israel's offensive, obtain a third party to monitor and guarantee compliance with a ceasefire, release Palestinian prisoners and overcome its political isolation. Some claim Israel was the first, on June 13, to break the ceasefire agreement with Hamas that had been in place since November 2012. However, Israel argues its air raids on Gaza are responses to rocket fire from the Gaza Strip. On July 7, after 7 Hamas militants died in a tunnel explosion in Khan Yunis which was caused by an Israeli airstrike, per Hamas, Nathan Thrall, BBC, and a senior IDF official, or an accidental explosion of their own munitions, per the IDF, Hamas assumed responsibility for rockets fired into Israel and launched 40 rockets towards Israel. The operation officially began the following day, and on July 17, the operation was expanded to an Israeli ground invasion of Gaza with the stated aim of destroying Gaza's tunnel system. Israeli ground forces withdrew on August 5. By that date, the IDF reported that Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other militant groups had fired 4,564 rockets and mortars from Gaza into Israel, with over 735 intercepted in flight and shot down by Iron Dome. Most Gazan mortar and rocket fire hit open land, more than 280 fell on areas in Gaza, and 224 struck residential areas. The IDF attacked 5,263 targets in Gaza, at least 34 known tunnels were destroyed and 2/3 of Hamas's 10,000 rocket arsenal was used up or destroyed. Between 2,142 and 2,310 Gazans were killed and between 10,626 and 10,895 were wounded, including 3,374 children, of whom over 1,000 were left permanently disabled. 66 Israeli soldiers, 5 Israeli civilians, including 1 child, and 1 Thai civilian were killed and 469 IDF soldiers and 261 Israeli civilians were injured. On August 5, OCA stated that 520,000 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, approximately 30% of its population, might have been displaced, of whom 485,000 needed emergency food assistance and 273,000 were taking shelter in 90 unrun schools. The UN calculated that more than 7,000 homes for 10,000 families were razed, together with an additional 89,000 homes damaged, of which roughly 10,000 were severely affected by the bombing. Rebuilding costs were calculated to run from $4 to $6 billion, over 20 years. In Israel, an estimated 5,000 to 8,000 citizens temporarily fled their homes due to the threat of rocketry from Gaza. The economic cost of the operation is estimated at NIS 8.5 billion, approximately $2.5 billion US, and GDP loss of 0.4%. At the conclusion of hostilities, 3,000 to 3,700 claims for damages had been submitted by Israelis, and $41 million paid out for property damage and missed workdays.